Hi there, my name is Morgan, and today I'll be talking about two important counseling theories, the psychodynamic and systemic theory. In this video, I'll explain how each of these theories works, provide a few real-world examples, compare their effectiveness, and walk through a case study showing how both of these theories can be applied in practice. To start, the psychodynamic theory, also known as PDT, focuses on how our unconscious thoughts, past experiences, and early relationships can influence our current behavior. As stated by Systematic Theories 2025, it emphasizes the role of early childhood experiences, internal drives, and interpersonal relationships in shaping personality and psychological functioning. The goal of this theory is to increase self-awareness and uncover unresolved conflicts. A visual that I wanted to show was Sigmund Freud's iceberg theory, which explains like the different levels of the human mind and how unconscious thoughts of ours can influence our behavior. The small visible portion of the water represents the conscious mind. This includes thoughts, perceptions, and awareness that we actively recognize in the current moment. These can be many things that we easily think about and can control. Just below the water is our preconscious. Um, this area contains memories, our knowledge, and information that we're currently not thinking about, but can easily access when needed. For example, remembering a phone number or a childhood memory would come from the preconscious level. The largest section hidden is our unconscious mind, and that's below the water, also the farthest down. This represents the unconscious mind. Um, Freud believed that this part stores instincts, fears, traumatic experiences, desires, and hidden motives that unresolved conflicts and emotions in the unconscious mind can affect mental health, relationships, and decision making. A real world example for this theory would be a client struggling with anxiety. May, through therapy, realize their fear of failure is connected to childhood experiences with highly critical caregivers. As stated by Psychodynamic Theories 2025, by exploring and addressing these unconscious processes in therapy can help individuals gain insight into the root causes of their depression and even develop healthier coping mechanisms and interpersonal relationships. By exploring these patterns, we're able to better understand and change our reactions. If you work in the healthcare um, field, working with individuals in general, that can be very, very important, especially people who have a lot of childhood trauma, PTSD. Um, Me personally, with my clients, I feel like, a lot of what has happened, especially if it's been traumatic during childhood, kind of talking about those things when you're ready can definitely help. Some strengths to the psychodynamic theory is deep emotional insight. This theory addresses root causes and it can have long-term personal growth. According to Bertoni 2024, techniques used in PDT, such as transference, such as redirecting feelings and open-ended questions, can help clients express themselves rather than relying on avoidance or other unhelpful coping mechanisms. A few limitations to this theory, however, it can be time intensive, less structured than other theories, and may not address immediate problems quickly. This theory specifically can be really good long term, but it's not the quickest solution out there. The second theory we're going to talk about is the systemic theory. This theory focuses on relationships, especially family systems, rather than just ourselves as an individual. It examines patterns of communication interaction. As Antanin stated, systems theory provides a complete framework for understanding and addressing complexities in various contexts, and most importantly, it helps create solutions or manage systems by looking at it from a holistic point of view. A visual for this theory that I wanted to show. The theory emphasizes that individuals are shaped not only by personal characteristics ourselves, but also by relationships, social structures, culture, and life experiences. So to begin, at the center, which includes personal factors such as age, sex, and health, is our individual self. That is who we are. Surrounding the individual are several layers of environmental influences. The second one is microsystem. It's the closest environment to the person, to us. And it includes direct relationships, daily interactions such as family, friends, work, school, neighbors, even church groups if you go to church. These relationships have the most immediate impact on our behavior and development. Next is the mesosystem, and this system refers to the connections between different microsystems. For example, communication between a person's family and workplace, or between school and community. Supports can influence our overall being. For instance, if me and my dad weren't to have the best relationship, and that can directly affect me, or anybody that can has a big part in my life. Next is the exosystem. This includes settings that indirectly affect the individual, us as a person, even if they are not directly involved in them. Examples include extended family, media, local government, and legal services. These systems can influence opportunities, stress levels, and access to support. Um, it could be simple things as being able to get transportation to a doctor's appointment if I needed that. Having really bad relationship with extended family, just stressful things like that, which can also affect us personally. It really can. If you don't have a ride to the doctor, you're not able to see your doctor, can't be as accessible, so that can hurt the individual. Next is the macro system. This represents the broader societal influences such as culture, economic systems, political systems, and social norms. These factors shape beliefs, values, and expectations within society. We all grow up differently, so one thing that we do may look really weird to someone else, but it can affect us personally. So it's really looking at the bigger picture of things. And finally is the chrono system. And this reflects how life transitions, historical events, and environmental changes over time affect development. Examples of this can include divorce, trauma, economic hardship, and major societal changes. For instance, this baby may be really silly to someone, but to me, I used to love heights and everything, and I broke my leg and my ankle falling from a tree when I was like 8. So ever since then I've hated heights. But that, again, looking at the bigger picture, that traumatic event has changed my mindset of heights. Since then, I don't like them. um Another real world example of this theory would be a child with behavioral issues, which may be treated by involving the whole family. The therapist could help communicate, like identify communication breakdowns, and this theory can also teach healthier interaction patterns, which is really crucial within families, especially the close knit families, the people we see on a daily basis, our parents, siblings. Some strengths of this theory involves holistic and practical, works well for families and couples, and focuses on current dynamics and current problems in our lives. Some limitations of this theory, however, may include that this theory may overlook deep internal issues. It requires participation from others, and it's not ideal if family members are unavailable. You know, this theory kind of it it needs to have it's ideal the most for people who are able to work with it on both ends, if that makes sense. According to Antonin, although the main goal of this method is to find solutions by looking for interconnectedness and interdependence on all components, it can also lead to decisions that do not consider personal preferences. In comparison regarding these two theories, psychodynamic theory looks inward at unconscious processes, while the systemic theory looks onward at relationships in our environment. The psychodynamic theory is often long-term and insight-based, whereas the systemic theory is more present-focused and action-oriented. In modern behavioral health, systemic approaches are often more widely used due to their flexibility and focus on real life interactions. As Folklova stated, the emphasis on communication, cooperation, and active activation of resource on both the individual and the systems system supports the long-term strengthening of clients' competences and ability to cope with future challenges, which research ranks among the main reason why systemic theory leads the more lasting results than interventions focusing exclusively on the individual. However, the psychodynamic theory remains valuable for deeper emotional healing um as a as a as an individual. A case study for an example case study used in both of these theories is a 30-year-old client struggling with depression and relationship conflict. Using the psychodynamic approach, in this theory, therapist, for example, the therapist explores the client's past and discovers unresolved attachment issues from childhood, helping the client understand patterns of emotional withdrawal. Um, on, and the second approach, the systemic theory, the therapist includes the client's partner in sessions to address communication issues and reoccurring conflicts, improving the relationship dynamics. You know, so the main difference about these approaches are in the psychodynamic theory, the therapist, you know, is only including the individual, you know, talking about their problems, what's happened to them, their traumatic events. In the systemic approach, the therapist not only including the individual, but also their romantic partner in these sessions to help address both of their communication issues and conflicts involving both the partners. An outcome by using both approaches together, this can really allow the client to gain insight and build a healthier relationship, leading to more overall effective treatment and long-term goals, you know, throughout your life and overall other relationships, not just, you know, with that singular partner, could also work with family members, friends, siblings, all of that. So in conclusion, both the psychodynamic and systemic theories offer valuable perspectives in behavioral health counseling. While these two approaches differ in the focus, they can also complement each other when it comes to providing more comprehensive care. By understanding multiple approaches, this can really allow counselors to better meet the diverse needs of their clients and also work different ways. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.